their potential. Oyebanji says his administration is always open to collaboration with private individuals and organizations ready to support the state government's efforts in harnessing the potential of the youth. The governor, represented by the Commissioner for Youth Development, Gold Adeshola, spoke during an empowerment program organized by the Olusegun Adeboyejo Foundation at Emure, Ekiti State. The foundation distributed various support items to residents of Emure, Ekiti. The Kano State government has uncovered irregularities in the payroll system of local government councils, as no fewer than 247 staff members were discovered to have either retired from service or died. This revelation is contained in a statement by the Press Secretary, Office of the Secretary to the State Government, Musa Muhammad. The discovery revealed that the names of the affected local government staff have been appearing in the payroll and their salaries running. There was pandemonium on Saturday at the rally ground of New Associate, a pro-Wike political in Bayelsa State, as gunmen suspected to be political thugs shot sporadically at the crowd and disrupted the program. The gunshots caused pandemonium as the crowd dispersed and scampered for their safety. Although there were no casualties, but it was confirmed that some persons sustained gunshot injuries on camp in Igbogene, Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. The rally, organized by the supporters of the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, in appreciation of President Bola Tinubu for appointing sons and daughters of the state into positions in government, was also aimed at declaring support for Wike, who is the grand patron of the group. The Kano State Chairman of the New Nigeria People's Party, Senator Masood El-Jibril Doguwa, who leads the faction known as the Basket and Full of Fruits Group, says the party is planning to convene an emergency meeting following the recent defection of prominent members in the state. Doguwa stated that the defections did not come as a surprise, blaming the Kwakwansia group for pushing members away from the party. He attributed the defections to what he described as maltreatment and inequality within the party, allegedly orchestrated by leaders of the Kwakwansia group. According to him, this frustration led to the departure of many members. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, says no amount of blackmail will bring peace to Rivers State. For peace to reign in the state, Wike says all critical stakeholders, including members of the National Assembly, must be involved with sincerity of purpose. He stated that the declaration of emergency rule averted calamities that would have occurred in the state. The Akpetu of Ikpetu Modu in Osun State, Oba Joseph Oluyede, and a Nigerian pastor, Edward Olusomi, are facing possible prison sentences in the United States after pleading guilty to charges of COVID-19 relief fraud. Oba Oluyede, a U.S.-based accountant and information system expert, was appointed the new Akpetu in July 2019. The monarch and Oluwasomi were arrested in early 2024 for their roles in a scheme to fraudulently obtain $4.2 million in COVID-19 relief funds. The two men were charged with 13 counts of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to defraud, money laundering, and engaging in monetary transactions in criminally derived property. The First Lady of Sokoto State, Hajia Fatima Aliyu, officially unveiled the 2025 oral polio vaccination campaign, reaffirming the state's commitment to protecting the health and future of its children. Represented by the Commissioner for Women and Children Affairs, Hajia Hadiza Shagari, the governor's wife described the campaign as a life-saving mission and a public health movement aimed at protecting children under the age of 5 from polio and other preventable diseases. Speaking at the unveiling ceremony held at the district head's palace in Shuni, Fatima emphasized the significance of the oral polio vaccine, calling it a simple, safe, and effective means to a polio-free future. The police command in Nasarawa State says it has recovered an English-made Beretta pistol with 12 rounds of 9mm live ammunition, during a successful raid. This was contained in a statement in Lafia by SP Rahman Nansel, Police Public Relations Officer in the state. Nansel says that the operation was part of the strategies adopted by the State Commissioner of Police Shatima Jawar Mohammed to tackle criminal elements. According to the PPRO, the firearm was recovered at a hideout for criminals, popularly known as Me and You, in the massacre area of Karu local government area. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has directed a total clampdown on unregistered hospital and quack medical personnel operating in the FCT, stating henceforth anyone found operating or working in an unregistered health facility should be arrested and prosecuted. The FCT minister gave this directive while reacting to the death of a pregnant woman at the Afomi Hospital, a private health facility located in Durumi, Abuja, following a cesarean section. Investigation conducted by the Private Health Establishment Registration and Monitoring Committee revealed that Afomi Hospital was not duly registered at the time of inspection. Only one staff, Simon Elisha Godier, who identified himself as a junior community health extension worker, was present on duty. Senior Special Assistant to the FCT Minister on Public Communication and Social Media, Lere Olayinka, says that it was unfortunate that despite the free registration of pregnant women into the Federal Capital Territory Health Insurance Scheme, most pregnant women were still not taking advantage of the scheme. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has raised the alarm over the regrouping of Boko Haram insurgents in the Tumbus areas of Lake Chad and the Mandara Hills within the Sambisa forest in the state. The governor disclosed this in Maiduguri when the Minister of Defense, Badaru Abubakar, Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and other top military commanders paid him a visit. Zulum lamented on the setback in military operations in the state, saying that Boko Haram terrorists were freely breeding in Tumbus water area on the Lake Chad without much effort by the military to dislodge them. The FBI has arrested 22 Nigerians allegedly involved in a financially motivated sextortion scheme that has been blamed for more than 20 teen suicides in the United States since 2021. The agency announced in a statement on its website, the report published says their arrests were part of a first-of-its-kind global operation codenamed Artemis, conducted in collaboration with law enforcement agencies in Canada, Australia, Nigeria, and the United Kingdom. The FBI launched Operation Artemis nearly 2 years ago after receiving thousands of reports of teen boys being coerced into sharing sexually explicit photos online and then extorted with threats of exposure unless they paid. You're watching the live broadcast of the News Prime. When News Prime returns, Tribunal upholds $220 million fine against Meta and WhatsApp. Details coming shortly. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. In business, the Competition and Consumer Protection Tribunal has delivered its judgment in the appeal filed by Meta Platforms Incorporated and WhatsApp LCC against the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, affirming the Commission's authority and actions in nearly all the contested issues. In a statement signed by the Director, Corporate Affairs, Ondaje Ijagu, reveals that the tribunal specifically determined that the Commission complied with prevailing laws, discharged its mandate, and exercised its powers within the confines of the 1999 Constitution. It ruled that the multiple actions by WhatsApp and Meta, for which the Commission made findings of violations, were correctly identified and that the Commission did not err in making its findings. Meanwhile, WhatsApp announced that it would swiftly move to stay and appeal a ruling by Nigeria's Competition and Consumer Protection Tribunal, which upheld a $220 million fine imposed by the FCCPC. In a statement issued in Lagos and shared, the messaging giant expressed its disagreement with the tribunal's decision. The tribunal's ruling not only upheld the hefty penalty, but also directed WhatsApp and its parent company, Meta Platforms Incorporated, to pay an additional $35,000 to the FCCPC for investigative costs. The president and chief executive of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has expressed gratitude over his appointment to the World Bank's Private Sector Investment Lab, a body tasked with boosting investment and job creation in emerging economies. The World Bank announced Dangote's appointment as part of a broader expansion of its private sector investment lab, which now enters a new phase aimed at scaling up solutions to attract private capital and create jobs in the developing world. In a statement confirming his acceptance, Dangote reaffirmed his commitment to fostering sustainable economic growth through private sector-led investment, noting the transformative potential of such initiatives in developing markets. On the foreign scene, the Trump administration is reinstating visas for hundreds of foreign students whose legal status was abruptly terminated, prompting widespread fear of immediate deportation. The move follows more than 100 lawsuits filed by students who lost their legal rights to study at U.S. universities. Many of the impacted students had participated in political protests or faced prior criminal charges, such as driving infractions. Secretary to State Marco Rubio previously stated that the administration would revoke the status of individuals whose actions it deems contrary to U.S. interests. Canada will hold an election on Monday following a campaign electrified by U.S. President Donald Trump's threat, with Prime Minister Mark Carney favored to win after promising voters he has the experience to stand up to the United States. A victory for Carney's Liberal Party would mark one of the most dramatic turnarounds in Canadian political history. On January 6th, the day former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced his plans to resign, his Liberals trailed the Conservatives by more than 20 points in most polls, and Tory leader Pierre Poilievre looked certain to be Canada's next premier. In sports, after narrowly defeating Atletico Madrid and Real Sociedad in the semi-finals, the Clásico rivals square of the competition's championship match in Seville, Los Blancos overcame a 2-goal deficit in the second leg of their semi-final against Real Sociedad to draw 4-4 on the night, but advanced 5-4 overall, securing their spots in the 2024 and 2025 Copa del Rey final. Barcelona, the most successful team in the Copa del Rey with 31 titles, are playing in their first final since defeating Atletico Bilbao in 2021. Real Madrid, with 20 Copa champions, are appearing in their second final in 3 seasons, having defeated Osasuna in 2023. Nigeria's table tennis prospect Taiwo Mati has cited financial constraints as the main barrier to reaching the next level in his international career following a tough stretch of results at recent WTT events, including the 2025 contender Tunis. In an interview, the 20-year-old remained upbeat despite an extended run of losses in men's singles stretching back to January's WTT contender Muscat. Mati is ranked 10 in Nigeria and 562nd globally by the ITTF, and he recently bowed out of the singles competition in Tunis after losing both group matches 3-1 to Malta's Kim Tae-yoon and 3-0 to India's Snehit Suravajula. World record holder in the women's 110-meter hurdles, Tobi Amusa, will compete in the season opener of this year's Diamond League in Xiamen, China. marking her first race in the hurdle since crashing out at the Paris Olympics in August 2024. And that's it on the Midday News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free to air on Nightcomsat. You can follow us across all platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I am Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.